Which one's your favourite?
In just under 10 days.
Oh! Oh!
William passer down What the fuck? Good shit, Mum.
That would have been hit on the back.
Brutality.
Ham in the face. What the fuck did you think was going to happen? Guys, take it from me, don't shave your butt hairs. I was contemplating this problem when I had what seemed to be, at the time, a bright idea. Hey, this is my butt and my butt hair, right? So why don't I just eliminate all the hair so that when I'm crimping off a chimp's finger, it'll flow like beer from a keg, I thought to myself. I performed the operation that night with a cheap disposable razor and a towel to sit on, starting from the bottom and shaving from the crack to the cheek. Finally, I wiped the razor one last time and surveyed my work. And my butt was as smooth as ivory. I smiled, satisfied, thinking my troubles were over. Whew, little did I know. Yes. I now have great respect for ass hair. Like anything in this world that God created, it has a mighty purpose in its existence. It was only after I'd removed it that I started to learn how much I'd taken it for granted. For one, it provides the glide that your butt cheeks need. After climbing 2 flights of stairs and starting to sweat, I started to notice something very unpleasant. As I made my way back to my dorm, it started to itch. God damn did it itch. It felt like a swarm of ants had made its way up the crack of my backside. Fighting to keep from jamming my hand down there and scratching away, I rushed back into my room. Apparently, with no hair, the 2 pink twins can get vacuum sealed together. And the result was as frustrating as a fart that had slid up and down between my cheeks like a lost gerbil, going nowhere. As if that wasn't enough, I'm now enduring further torture. As anybody who has ever shaved anything knows, when hair is first growing in, it comes in as stubble. Now imagine your ass having the texture of a Brillo pad. Well, that's what I'm dealing with now. It's a hellish torture, and there are many times when I just look out the window and contemplate, why? Why did I do it? Should I just jump and have it all be done with? There'd just be one fleshy splat instead of enduring this constant agony. Guys, do not shave your butt hair. Oh. Short story, fellas. Went to my local gym last night after a rough few days on the terps to blow out some of the cobwebs. Finished off with a dip in the pool and a trip to the sauna. Got into the sauna and it was absolutely rammed. There were 2 women, 6 men in a room. It could barely hold 6, all basting in their own juices. When I walked in, the woman behind me was in the middle of talking to everyone in there, loud and brash, and there's always one. There is always one. Generally, it's me. After the story, everyone carried on marinating in silence, with the occasional person leaving and being replaced with somebody else. It was now all men, bar the woman behind me. More silence. The door opened. A bloke walked in, shut the door behind him. Seeing how busy it was, he opted to stay standing up. The woman piped up again. "Oh, sweetheart, I haven't seen you in ages. You can have my seat. I was just leaving. Give me a call tomorrow." She walked out and the guy took her place. As he sat down, one of the other guys in the room said, "Hey, she was game for you, wasn't she? I think you could be in there." The newcomer laughed nervously and said in a sheepish voice, "Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, I guess so, yeah." More silence. "She's my mum." Yes. More silence, but the silence that's real thick, with an unspoken laughter of a room full of men not wanting to be the first. Whew. Well, that's the last time I'm speaking up in this. I said the first guy before the room erupted in absolute hysterics. Oh, well, keep up the good work, fellas and lasses. Bring on 2024 up the waz.
Oh, my God.
It's so good. Confined space as well.
Oh,
One of the dream locations for something like that to happen.
The more someone's a prick to you, the more work you're happy to put in to stitch them up. And this is just an absolute classic case of that.
A hell of a stitch up from Robert. Hi guys, here's a true story for you. I'm in an engineering workshop. The foreman was a real mean bastard, so the guys wanted to have a laugh at his expense. He took it number 2 with his newspaper every day at the same time in the same trap. All the waste pipes from the dunny went through the wall to an outside main line en route to the sewer. So the guys hit upon an idea. They would feed an airline through the inspection cover, then attach a rubber glove to it before retracting back out of the site in the dunny. The idea being to give the foreman time to do the drop job and settle for a good read of the newspaper, whereupon they would open the air valve and inflate the glove to tickle his hanging tackle. Such a good idea. Unfortunately, the guy in charge of the valve was a little more enthusiastic at his job than we anticipated and cracked the valve wide open in one quick turn. The glove received an immediate inflation and unable to contain the pressure, it disintegrated with a rather loud bang. At this point, the toilet door burst open to a real, rather white-faced man with his trousers around his ankles splattered from the waist down with the contents of an unflushed bowl. To the good fortune of the perpetrators, the shock of the foreman remained, allowing them to quickly disappear before being recognised. That is great stuff.
So elaborate.
Yeah.
And worth it. I think that went better than they could have ever expected.
I don't know what would be more terrifying. Just a gentle tickling of the nuts with a rubber glove while you're backing one out, or just hearing that explosion underneath you.
If that happened to me in Australia, my head would be in the roof and my legs would be dangling down like a cartoon. No thanks. Sibling rivalry yarns. My old boy Jimmy has an identical twin brother. Growing up in Dunedin was an absolute war. Throwing D-sized batteries was common. Lobbing axes and swinging garden rakes and tearing a nostril open was one yarn. Swinging a garden rake and hooking a nostril. That is out the gate. Oh,
The actual.
Mum told me about a family dinner when she was new on the scene where a tablespoon was hurled across the table and lodged tail end into a cheekbone and had to be surgically removed. Oh,
My brother threw a rock up and then yelled duck, so I stood up and looked for the duck. It cracked my head dead center. You know, the dippy bit on top of a kid's head that's not properly formed yet. Because we were camping, the old lady just stitched up my head with a needle and thread, muttering idiots whilst doing so.
you don't want to ruin the camping trip.
1987, the house is being renovated. My 13-year-old brother started throwing bricks at me.
Throwing bricks.
So 15-year-old me threw a shovel at him. He tripped, went through the glass door, hospital, 18 stitches. Me whacked by mum when she got back from the hospital with my brother looking on smirking. That's set up also if you don't have siblings. The absolute joy that you get from kicking back and just watching your siblings get a hiding from your parents in the 80s. When my brother and I were young, we were throwing rocks while camping, playing a bit of war, throwing rocks.
You know.
My half-sister's not the smartest. Once she wanted me to get off the landline, and I wouldn't, so she just cut the cord with some scissors and gave herself a shot.
Oh, jeez.
My sister Charlotte stuffed me into a concrete mixer and turned the big wheel handle on the side. I fell out. It fell on me, shattered the whole right side of my body.
Oh. It's a real issue. That's a real issue, having a concrete mixer fall on you.